I'm a freelance photographer. I've loved taking pictures since I was a kid, and my hobby naturally became my job. After graduating from college, I worked for a publishing company and married my coworker, Lauren, who was an editor there. About 7 years after getting married, I became independent as a freelance photographer. I've always been the type to dislike being bound by time, and my goal was to freely take pictures of what I like, so it was a long-awaited independence for me. Lauren and I don't have children. I love kids and wanted them, but Lauren, who found fulfillment in her editing job, wasn't too enthusiastic about having children. Nevertheless, we had a good relationship, understanding each other well, and she understood my work style. Our marital relationship wasn't bad at all, I thought so. One Sunday, Lauren had a day off. Lauren, how about we go for a drive? It's been a while.
Yeah, the weather is nice, I agree.
And so, we set off for a drive. Heading out with no particular destination in mind was typical for us. How about we stop by my parents' house? It's been a while, and I want to take some pictures of the countryside. Actually, she isn't fond of visiting my parents' house. She was born and raised in the city and simply loves the urban life.
I could never live in such an inconvenient countryside.
She always said so, making it quite a hassle to bring her along. So, my usual strategy is to swing by my parents' house casually during our drive. She probably knew my intentions, though. Pretending not to notice her reluctance, I drove us to my parents' house. We're back. It's been a while.
Oh, John, Lauren too. We just arrived too.
My brother, Kevin, and his wife were also there. Actually, there was a reason for visiting home that day, and I had secretly arranged the schedule with Kevin. I had been concerned about something. Kevin's wife mentioned that there seemed to be something off about my mom. She seems the same to me. That's what I thought when...
Ah, Leonard, welcome back. You must be tired from your business trip. I'll prepare lunch right away.
My mom said that and started preparing food in the kitchen. Leonard, is she mistaking me for Dad? But Dad passed away. My father passed away over 10 years ago. Is it dementia? My mom is 73 years old. It wouldn't be strange if she has developed dementia, but isn't this a bit sudden? As I was thinking, Kevin's wife said, John, last time I visited, she asked who I was. She returned to normal afterward. But I think it would be good to have a doctor check her. Afterward, Kevin and his wife took my mom to the hospital, and sadly, the diagnosis was indeed dementia. Oh, what a mess. Kevin and his wife live in the next town over, but they both have regular jobs, and they just can't find the time to take care of our mom. Since I'm self-employed, I thought it would be fine to take care of her if Lauren agreed. It was tough to bring up the subject to her, who doesn't get along well with my mom. But this is about my mom, all right. I decided to bring it up. Lauren, can we talk for a bit? But even before I could get started, she responded in an angry tone.
Let me guess. It's about your mom, right? Taking her in is impossible. I have a job too. I can't handle looking after an elderly woman with dementia. I absolutely refuse to care for my Mill.
I expected some pushback, but I was really taken aback by her words. Hey, that's my mom, you know. Watch your mouth. and it's not like it has to be right now. Plus, no one is saying you have to do all the caretaking. I'll help out too.
I knew it. You do plan to take her in. I'm so done. You arranged this with Kevin the last time you came to visit here, didn't you? You knew I didn't want to go. This is just the worst.
We usually have small arguments, and one of us usually gives in. But this was the first time since we got married that neither of us was willing to back down. I knew she'd object, but I didn't think she'd be so cold and distant. Sure, we usually don't interfere with each other's lives much, but we got along well in our daily life. However, seeing Lauren change her attitude so quickly when the topic of my family came up was honestly shocking. But being somewhat optimistic, I thought, well, it can't be helped. It was sudden. Maybe she'll calm down by tomorrow. That's what I was thinking, but I was being too naive. The next day, as soon as she came back from work, she handed me a piece of paper.
You say you'll take care, but it means I'd have to live with her too, right? You obviously expect me to help out. Living with your dementia-stricken Mill is out of the question. Living together is unthinkable even if she were healthy. I want a divorce.
She handed me the already signed divorce papers, and You prepared this too well. Huh, what's this?
Say whatever you want. I've made up my mind. This isn't what we agreed upon.
What? What agreement?
I said I wouldn't live with your parents together, remember? You agreed.
Yay, but circumstances have changed. So, divorce just like that. Isn't that too hasty?
It's not hasty. You broke our agreement, so it's only natural.
She took her prepared suitcase and left the house. That was the last time I saw my wife in person. Indeed, losing my wife who being with for a long time so suddenly left me with lingering affection and loneliness. But seeing Lauren's human nature, rejecting and coldly pushing away even her Mill, made my 1,000-year-old love feel cold. So, I also signed the divorce papers, and we divorced without meeting again. It's so fleeting. What is marriage, really? I'm done with women. I vowed never to marry again. For a while, until my ongoing work in New York settled down, I left my mom in the care of Kevin and a helper. And when I could find time between my work, I went back to Nebraska to share in caregiving. Although my mom's dementia was occasional, it wasn't hard for me as I was just visiting occasionally. But it must be tough for Kevin and his wife, who were working too. I felt guilty towards my brothers, but I had unfinished work in New York, and I intended to move to Nebraska once the work was done. Finally, after my work settled down, I returned to Nebraska 2 years after the divorce. I can do my job of photography anywhere, and I like taking pictures of the rural scenery, so I thought the divorce wasn't entirely negative for me. And so, my country living began. At 37, I embarked on my second life. My mom is sometimes a child and sometimes an adult. It was challenging to keep up with her, as it seemed like she was constantly moving between the past and the present. But, no offense to my mom, going back to the past is incredible. Mom, are you riding a time machine or something? I could never say it out loud, but I honestly felt this way, probably because I hadn't experienced any significant incidents at the time. Life with my mom was peaceful, thanks to my brothers and the helper, Thompson. However, my mom, who always loved cooking, would try to get to the kitchen. Mom, it's dangerous. I'll do it.
Don't treat me like a senile old woman. I'm still okay, you know.
She would hold the knife with a laugh, which was quite scary. I was also confident in cooking. When I was married, we both worked, so we took turns making dinner. Especially since I became a freelance photographer and had a more flexible schedule, I would always cook dinner for my ex-wife who worked late at the editorial department. But I never thought the day would come when I, as an adult, would be in the kitchen with my adult mother. One day, Thompson, who always took care of us, brought a new helper.
I'll be in your care from today. I'm Rachel Adams. Nice to meet you.
The pleasure is mine. The new helper was around my age. Have I seen her somewhere before? As I watched her, thinking so.
It's been a while, John. It's me. My maiden name was Owen, remember?
What, really? Rachel? Seeing her nod with a smile, I couldn't believe my eyes. Rachel Owen, was my classmate in middle school. Back then, she was a bit on the chubby side, to say it nicely. It's been a while. I didn't recognize you.
I lost weight 'cause raising kids is just tough. Call it parenting diet.
After that, Rachel started coming to our house as my mom's main helper, and we began talking more. Rachel had divorced a year ago, and now she was raising her two daughters as a single mother. Adams was her ex-husband's last name, and she kept it. So, you got divorced too. I did as well. No kids, though. After experiencing divorce, marriage is a no-go, right?
Oh, what? John, did your wife dump you?
Yay. Saying so, we both burst into laughter. Being with the always cheerful Rachel and talking to her felt relieving. Helpers are amazing. Do they learn some healing techniques or something? I thought so. Even though it was her job, she earnestly took care of my mom, allowing me to continue my work as a photographer. I also had assignments in New York, and at such times, I'd ask her to take special care of my mom. It seemed my mom was increasingly enjoying meeting Rachel.
I wonder when Rachel will come again.
You want to see Rachel that much?
Of course, there's no one as good as her. It would have been nice if she was your wife.
She said, laughing. Indeed, Rachel, who had become so beautiful, made my heart race, and watching her diligently caring for my mom was almost enchanting. No, I'm totally over women and marriage. Just know. It was a clear day during a break in the rainy season. I took my mom to the park to see the hydrangeas. The hydrangeas here are very beautiful, and many people visit with cameras, some even using professional models for their shoots. Mom, wanna model? I joked. My fee is pretty steep. She joked back. Seeing her happier than when I lived in New York, I feel happy too. Then, I started to take photos of her walking the hydrangea-lined path. My mom and hydrangeas are quite the sight. While snapping the shutter, she starts to look like a young girl. Is she reverting? The time slip, a feature of her dementia. Is she confusing now with the past? My suspicion is confirmed. Mom,
Isn't it beautiful, Leonard?
this is what I thought, but she's happy, so it's fine. I let her walk as she likes and continued to photograph her. Let's take a break. Sit here and wait. Don't move, okay? I tell her to sit on the bench, and I take my eyes off her for just about a minute to Bidey from the shop. She's gone. Where did she go? I searched around but couldn't find her. How did she disappear in such a short time, if anything happened? The thought sends shivers down my spine. Just as I thought of contacting the police,
John,
I turn around and there are Rachel and my mom. Rachel, Mom, where have you been?
Leonard, let me introduce you. This is Rachel, my friend.
hello, Leonard. We were just looking at the hydrangeas behind the path. You were having fun, right, Michelle?
My mom is mistaking Rachel for her friend. Rachel, being a caretaker, is going along with my mom's story. Behind Rachel, there are her twin daughters, around elementary school age. Are these your daughters?
Yes, this is Ella and Mila. Say hello, girls.
Hello, I'm Ella.
I'm Mila.
Thank you for finding my mom. I'm John, a classmate of your mom's. To thank them for finding my mom, we decided to have lunch together and we went to a restaurant. Never thought I'd end up having lunch with Rachel and her daughters. Having a meal with Rachel privately is something I never imagined back in our school days. So, such a situation makes me feel somewhat awkward. Probably, Rachel feels the same, and the atmosphere is a bit tense. My mom broke that awkward silence in no time.
What lovely little girls. I wish I had grandchildren too.
Suddenly back in the present day, she mumbled something like that, which made Rachel and me laugh out loud. Indeed, it's understandable. Neither my brother nor I have kids. She was joyfully talking to the twin kids. Twins seemed to be happy about it. They talked a lot with Mom, walked hand in hand. I was glad that they cared for my mom and thought that they were indeed Rachel's daughters. I began to occasionally invite Rachel and her children to dine together, and of course, my mom joined, and we met as a group of 5. Then, one day, I was organizing photo data at home when suddenly a loud noise came from the hallway. I rushed over to find my mom collapsed, unconscious. I quickly called 911, and she was taken to the hospital. She was diagnosed with a blood clot in a brain vessel. Her consciousness was in and out, and it was a series of anxious days. What if she never wakes up again? During such times, Rachel visited.
John, how's your mom doing?
Then suddenly, my mom wakes up. John, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and have Rachel become your wife. She then closed her eyes again. She never woke up again after that. I knew the day would come, but it was sudden. My mom left her last words waiting for Rachel to come. She mustered her remaining strength to give me a push. Almost 2 years have passed since then. Rachel is carrying my child, the grandchild my mom always wanted. Though I was reluctant to marry again, thanks to my mom, I could start a new family. Rachel's daughters, who had met my mom several times, are very affectionate to me and considerate about my loss. They are also eagerly awaiting the new family member, constantly asking, "Isn't it born let?" I'm sure they will become wonderful sisters. Mom, my wife and daughters are adorable, aren't they? The grandchild you wanted is increasing by 1 more. It's all thanks to you, Mom. Truly, thank you. Around my mom's grave, beautiful hydrangeas were blooming gloriously, and I felt as if she, with her youthful smile from that day, was there with us,